Hey, I'm John. Welcome to Mr. G's Workbench and part 3 of the 32nd scale F-4D Phantom from Tamiya. And today we're going to get the fuselage painted. Before we get started, thanks for stopping in. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back. And hopefully by the end of this episode, if you're not a subscriber, I'll convince you somehow magically to hit the subscribe button and ring that bell and be notified every time I put out a new video. And big thank you as always to my channel member family. That's their names right there. Thank you guys as always for your support. It's gratefully appreciated. So probably greatly appreciated, but we'll go with that. So if you recall, the last time we were together, we got this. We got an F-4D, and it's in primer using Mr. Surfacer 1500. And I traced out the camo pattern on here, just like it appears in the instructions for the decals. It's a wraparound Euro 1 camo scheme, and it consists of 3 colors, which I've got them all here from Hataka. First one is medium green, 34102. The next one is dark green, 34079. And the last one is a gray. It's Euro 1 gray, which is FS36081. I'm going to spray a base coat of each color into the camo pattern. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to lighten it up progressively probably using gray. Normally I would lighten greens with a yellow, but that'll create a lighter shade of green, not necessarily I want a more faded look. So I think by introducing a little bit of gray into each color, I can create patches of faded panels and stuff. So hopefully it works. And I'll do my best to set up the camera by the spray booth and show you what I'm doing as we go along. So without further ado, we don't have anything else to discuss at this very moment, I think. So let's see what we can get done, all right? I tried to fit the camera over there. I hope you can see something in the video that I got. What I've done so far is I'm going to lay the base coat, the base colors down. So I've done the medium green. I've just gone in and done it, in each area where it's supposed to be. I've tried to do like marbling with it so that it doesn't look uniform. And then what I'm going to do, I can't keep doing this with the camera. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to get the other 2 colors on, the dark green and the Euro 1 gray. I'm going to get the base coats on, I'll show it to you, and then I'll explain what I'm going to do next.
Many minutes later.
We've got what I'm going to call the base coat on of the camouflage colors on the top and bottom. I freehanded the camo. It's the Hataka paints, like I said, and I use my Badger Patriot 105, and you can paint, if you have a fine tip on your brush, you can paint relatively tight camo freehand. Just crank your air pressure down. I typically have mine 10 pounds or under at that point, 10 psi or less. Don't use thick paint. You're going to have to mix your paint thin, and you get in tight with the airbrush close to the surface you're working on. But like the camo on this, it definitely doesn't look all that tight to me in the photos. I finished sanding it with a 3000 grit sanding sponge, wiped it down. It doesn't look super even, but that's fine because now I'm going to come in, I'm going to hit each panel within each color. Now I'm going to start diluting the paint with the very light gray. Let's say about 75% of the primary color and 25% of the light gray. And this way I can leave, I want it to stay darker around the panel lines, and as you get towards the center of each panel, I want it to lighten up. I'm going to use my Sotar 2020 for that. Much easier to keep tight and keep paint small. So I'm going to do that. I'll put the camera, I'll try to do it so you can see what I'm doing, all right? So we'll head back over to the paint booth, take a look at what I do next. So we're done with the basic camouflage paint on the fuselage. There's how it looks. See if I can get that without the light washing it out. You can kind of see that there. I'll show you some close-ups here. I wanted this to look sun faded from sitting out in the Texas sun. Nobody's really maintaining the paints on it or anything, the camo. So it's fading, and it'll fade irregularly. If you look at pictures online, you can find pictures of these planes. The Euro 1 scheme fades irregularly, so that's where we're at with this. I still have to do the nose. I want the nose to be a little chipped, a little rugged, and then we got to still do all the metallics in the exhaust area. And now I'm kind of fighting the clock here. I've got about 2 weeks before Model Mania. So I'm hoping to get this done. So let's move into painting the nose next. Well, it's done. I can say that much. Here's how big it is. It's over 22 inches from front to back. I mentioned that earlier. I kind of learned a few lessons finishing this, and I'm going to be honest with you and show you the mistakes I made and why I made them. So we'll take a close look at it. I'll tell you what I like, what I didn't like. It's Tamiya 1/32 scale aircraft kits are pretty good. They're not terrific. With recent 1/48 scale kits, Tamiya has become like the go-to kit. You know, when you want to build something, minimal hassle, you build a Tamiya F-4B. You build a Tamiya F-14A or D. Something like that. A P-38. A P-51. In 32nd scale, their noteworthy kits are the prop planes, the P-51, the Zero, stuff like that. These kits, the F-4CD that they did in 32nd scale, the F-15, which I've also built in 32nd scale, not so much. And the first thing that's an issue in this kit is you can't really line the intakes up properly. They give you intakes that go back to the fans, but they don't line up particularly well. The exhausts that come with the kit are okay. I used resin ones, which I was very happy with. I was also very happy with the paint finish around the metal areas in the exhaust area. That was good stuff. The stabilators I was happy with. The way they go together, you have to put them together during construction. You can't keep them off until you paint because they have to. Everything kind of connects inside. I'm sure there's a way you can do it, but it wasn't worth the hassle. Like I just assumed paint around the stabilators, so that wasn't a problem. The fit of the vertical stabilizer, the rudder, not so good. It didn't fit particularly well. That was some work right there, using what some annoying people like to call basic modeling skills. It just didn't fit well. The curvature of the tail didn't match the curvature of the fuselage. So there's that. Everything else fit together pretty well. Nothing to complain about. The wings went on well. The landing gear bays went on well. I like the way that Tamiya incorporates metal parts into their landing gear legs on their 32nd scale kits. That was good. I used resin wheels instead of the rubber ones provided by Tamiya. I was happy with those. They fit well. Those were res kit wheels, I believe. No, I'm lying. They're def model resin wheels for the Tamiya F4, and they fit perfectly. I was happy with them. You had to do a little fiddling for the gear leg to accommodate the resin wheel. The cockpit is kind of plain. I used the Red Fox instrument panels. I thought they looked terrific. I was very happy with them. And I used resin missiles for sidewinders from Eduard. They were really nice. I was very happy with those. And with all that being said, I'll tell you what I did not like about this, and which led to my last minute mistake, my last minute user error. The canopies for the front and back cockpit are two-part, and it's a transparency and a plastic canopy frame. The curvature of the transparency did not line up with the curvature of the plastic canopy frame. So I got the rear one together with a little bit of fuss, but it went together and it fit. The front one, it wouldn't line up. I said, let me hold it in place and I'll tack it in with a little extra thin. Well, that extra thin seeped right under the plastic, through the gap, and onto my finger. I wound up leaving a nice fingerprint on the transparency. I sanded it out after it was dry, polished out the canopy, and the fingerprint was etched into the actual plastic. Where the fingerprint was glass smooth after I polished it out. Didn't make a difference. That fingerprint was there to stay. The reason that happened is because I was rushing to finish this plane for Model Mania. And there's the rub. There was my mistake. Instead of building something for enjoyment, for entertainment, to relax, I let this become a project with a deadline, and that was my downfall. And I'd like to think if I wasn't like trying to be, slick and get this done, I might have gotten it done properly. So I'm not happy about that, but that's on me. If you have one of these kits, I recommend building it. So and the only other thing I had a problem with was the TechMod decals, the large red, white, and blue Texas flag lightning bolt thingies on the tail. Each one, both sides, I managed to crack those flag decals, and I had to repair them. Got that done. The plane number on the port side of the rudder, I managed to shatter that completely. I had to pull off the remnants of it, and I had to go fishing through my decal stash to find numbers to recreate that. The FOD covers I used did not fully cover the intakes, so that was a little disappointing too. Those were from Quick Boost, and if you go to use them, buyer beware. The paints came out just the way I'd wanted them to come out. It was what I had imagined while I was doing it. So that's that. Another build in the books. I hope you enjoyed it. I somewhat enjoyed it for the reasons just mentioned. I hope you guys had fun watching this. If you did, I hope you leave me a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you've built this and run into similar situation. I'd love to know about it. I like when we kind of get the discussion going. So that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks again to everybody who's subscribed. We're over 2,900 subscribers. Thank you all very much. Thank you to my channel member family. Always appreciate that additional support. And we will get together again soon for another build. Take care. Stay well. I'll see you next time.